Hello, my name is Lorraine Camacho, and I am creating this video specifically to explain why I'm going to start channeling on camera and maybe why I've been so resistant to it in the past. So, often when I feel like I should do something I don't want to do, I resist it. And so, this has just been something I've been resisting for a while. And it just became perfectly clear that it is time for me to start doing it, to start channeling on camera and then posting to YouTube. Um, so, one of the, I guess, primary reasons why I just didn't want to do it is because I just never do anything the way everybody else does. And whenever you do things your own way, there's always some kind of backlash. And people believe, well, she's doing it wrong, she's not doing what we're doing, and then there's a resistance. I think that comes mostly from fear. A lot of people like things to stay the same, and for someone to do something differently, that means change, and people don't are resistant to change. Let's just put it that way. I think on many levels, and so we're kind of forced into change by whatever comes our way. And so the message is perfectly clear that I just need to do this and just do what you've always done your whole entire life. Just do things your way. I've always dealt with backlash or resistance to doing things my own way. And so this is nothing new, but sometimes I just don't want to deal with it. So here I am, ready to deal with it. But so one of the things that makes what I do different is I don't think, actually, I'm not going to say what I do is different. I watch a lot of Gaia, so Reuben Langdon does interview with Deete, and he interviewed Deete, I believe her name was, who was channeling an Alpha Draco. And I completely connected with what she does and how she does it, because she doesn't leave her body, let's just say. A lot of the channels say, I'm gone, they take over and they communicate through me, I'm somewhere else. And when she did it, it was like the energy was flowing through her, and then she would kind of step in and say, I believe, and kind of put her own take on what's being said. And that's very much how I do things. And I think it's important because what I've experienced and what I've seen when I watched that show is that a lot of the higher dimensional density beings tend to have there's a disconnect between what they're trying to communicate and what we can process in this current paradigm that we're living in. And so for her to be interviewing, channeling a higher dimensional being, an eighth, or I think it was ninth density Alpha Draco, to understand, for us to understand what was being communicated, I thought it was really important for her to kind of come in and translate that in a language that we can comprehend, understand, process. Because what I found in this field is that vernacular and languages can create blockages because of the connotations and denotations that are associated with vernacular language vocabulary. So I appreciated her approach, and that's very much how I do readings, and that's very much how I channel. I'm always present, and I'm always listening. And there's two reasons for that. First of all, I'm not giving up my body to anybody. Nobody's taking over. I'm always going to be present. I need to be part of the interaction. I need to be part of the dialogue, and I need to know what's going on. I enjoy knowing what's going on. And so I channel that information, and I'm part of the conversation. I think that's important. This is my body. Nobody can take it over. I'm not allowing that. It's not about control. It's just a fact. It's okay. I can share. I'm okay with sharing. And if they're not okay with sharing, then they can find a different channel. The other thing is, that's not to condemn or judge anybody else who does it, who does kind of allow them to come in. That's their way. Everybody has a path. Each path is different. How I do things is the way I do it, and I don't project that onto anybody else. They can do what they want the way they want, and if that's what they're called to do, then they do that. That is what they need to do, and I appreciate that and I honor that. That is incredibly important. The other thing is, and this is a little bit off topic, but not really, it's related. I find when I watch a lot of these shows about these extra dimensional beings, I call them beings of love and light because they are positive energies that have come here to support us. But I find that because we're in this paradigm that's so negative right now, there's a lot of negative. There's also a lot of positive, but we're dealing with a lot of negative energy that people really want to, they kind of are open to this, they have this fantasy of leaving this world and being in outer space and having these experiences on different worlds. And I think so much of that comes from this not wanting to be here right now, and because of what this world is going through. But I am profoundly connected to Mother Earth. I am profoundly connected to this world. And I found myself watching these shows and like kind of coveting and envying people who have gone off world. But then I travel through wormholes. I become part of my consciousness, my higher self, and I've traveled the universe. And what I realize is when I leave Earth and I look back, I'm sad and lonely, and I'm thinking, what if I never come back? Well, my physical body's still here, so I know I'm coming back. But the whole idea of physically leaving and then not coming back is just frightening. It's almost like when I moved out of my house the first time, I moved away from my parents. It was great at first, but then I was gone for so long. I was like, wow, this is a different feeling. But I was at least still on Earth. So I'm profoundly connected to Earth. I have no desire to leave Earth. And I feel like if I left, then I would be abandoning my home. And I feel like that's part of this fear paradigm that's happening, that people are so angry with what's going on and then fearsome of what might come to pass, that this whole idea of leaving is comforting. And then I go to many elections where you have entertainers who say, if this person's elected, I'm leaving this country. And so I'm drawing a parallel here, because what happens if you leave your home? What happens if you leave this place? You can't create the change that's needed to move back to a positive place. So I'm drawing a parallel in that I would never leave my home. I would never leave this planet. I would never leave my consciousness, because I need to be present in order to create the change that I want to see in this world. I have a purpose in this world and I need to fulfill it. And in order to fulfill it, I need to be present. So I'm always present in my body during communications with, or during channeling. I'm always present in my body, even when I'm traveling the universe, because I am profoundly connected to the earth. God created the universe, but Mother Earth created us, and this is our home. So we need to create the change. We need to be the creators of change in this world that is needed. And so with that, and with that understanding, I came to accept that I will be doing this channeling on video, and posting them to YouTube, and then probably my Facebook and stuff also. But another deterrent for me was the energies that I channel. They're very intimate relationships, but they're also some profound beings that have lived on this world. And I think I don't want people to get the wrong idea of these energies that are coming through. We all have the capacity to channel, and we all have the capacity to connect. And because these energies are not bound by space or time, they can connect with everybody at any time. And so we all have this capacity. And so I'm going to be doing that. And so I don't want, when I do this, I don't want people to think I'm more special or less special than anybody else. We're all the same and we all have this capacity. And so one of the most important things I'll be doing while I'm channeling is when I do readings also I do this. I talk about what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, what I'm seeing and what I'm experiencing. It's so important because when people have these experiences, they have no frame of reference. They have nothing to compare it to. So as I do the channeling, I'm going to be talking about what I'm experiencing, what I'm seeing, what I'm smelling, what I'm sensing, so that you have an idea as you walk your path of what that's like. So if you have these experiences, you'll know what it is. Because often when people first start opening up, they will they'll have little glimpses and they'll rationalize it. And with that, I'll say there are no coincidences, there's only synchronicities. So understand that there are no coincidences and accept the synchronicities that are coming into your life as that and work through that. Look for the meanings in those synchronicities. So part of this is channeling and conveying information, but also part of this is teaching and helping you to understand what this is, this channeling of energy. It's profound and it's meaningful, and it guides my life. The other thing I'll talk about is I'm pretty much channeling every second of every minute anyway, and I talk about this when I do readings also. When I don't drive, although I have a license and I can drive, but I walk, I bus, I bike pretty much everywhere. And when you're walking, there are many ways to get from point A to point B. And when I'm walking the streets to get from point A to point B, I'm always listening to my intuition. So I can go straight. If I'm walking through downtown, I can walk straight down, Pike, and then turn right on 3rd to get wherever I want to go, or I can zigzag through town to get to wherever I need to go. And it changes every single day, but I listen to that intuition, because when I listen to my intuition, I'm where I need to be when I need to be there. And sometimes I need to be somewhere, sometimes I need to not be in other places. So when I'm listening to my intuition, I'm either where I need to be or I miss where I shouldn't be, right? So I'm always channeling and I'm always listening to my intuition. It's a very important part of this experience. I'm always connected to the higher self because my higher self knows what I'm here to do in this life. So that part of me guides me. And each of us have that in us. We all have a higher self that's guiding us. And I always talk to people about how to connect with that. So that's another part and component of this is talking about what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, what I'm experiencing, so that you understand what's happening and you can apply that to your life. I think that's where I'm going to stop, because I don't have any information coming that says, keep talking. So I'm going to stop right there. I have a website, www.healingwithloveandlight.com, all spelled out, www.healingwithloveandlight.com, that you can go to if you'd like more information about me. I have a contact page where you can send me an email if you'd like. But the plan is to start channeling. I don't know how often it's going to be, but normally I get the message to do it. And then I do it. So thank you so much for watching, listening, and I will be channeling later. Thank you.